What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sector for Nerds. I'm Ryan Brower, and today I'm here to give you guys my thoughts on Star Wars Visions Episode 5, The Ninth Jedi, which, like the previous episode we watched, was a really good one. We got two good back-to-back episodes in a row, you guys. Probably my two favorite episodes that I've seen so far between The Village Bride and The Ninth Jedi. But we're going to talk about that, you guys, and more. But make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If this is your first time watching, I like to do a lot of reaction videos to fan-made Star Wars content, whether that's fan films or tribute videos, and I also like to do a lot of discussions on the latest episodes that appear on Disney Plus from both Star Wars and Marvel. We've been doing it since the start of Disney Plus being in existence, and we will continue to do so as more shows come around. Okay, so if you guys watched last week's video, you guys know that I didn't write down any of the names because I couldn't remember any of them. I feel like a lot of times you'll hear a character's name being mentioned several times, so you'll be able to write it down and be like, oh, okay, so that's this person's name. But last time I failed to do that. This time I was much more observant, though, when it came to the names, or at least a little bit better. So I wrote down a few of the key names that we're going to talk about here today. And the first was Ethan. Ethan being this, what appeared to be a boy, a young Jedi in training, you know, a Padawan, like supposedly the rest of these people are supposed to be. And I guess they're all meeting to get their lightsabers and try to reestablish the Jedi Order. We hear the name Jiro, Jiro is the person who's supposed to be assembling the Jedi to get their lightsabers. And I'll admit, you guys, when I first saw this, I'm like, okay, this dude does not seem legit. This feels like a trap. I don't like this. I didn't catch the name of the dude that was forging the lightsaber crystals, you know, the kyber crystals. That was kind of cool. But I didn't catch his name, but I did catch his daughter's name, and her name is Kara. And she was wielding a lightsaber. For someone who I'm not sure if she's swung a lightsaber before, but she seemed very skilled. I mean, I guess if all those sabers are sitting there, she would eventually pick up one. When the father said, "May the Force be with you," my first reaction was, okay, he's dying. Because how many other times, you guys, in Star Wars has someone said, "May the Force be with you," like right before they're about to die? Like, look at Ben Kenobi in A New Hope when he tells Luke the Force will be with you, and then they separate. And then Kanan with Ezra and Sabine in Star Wars Rebels when he separates from them. So it's just like every time that someone goes off and separates from someone and they say, "May the Force be with you," that's kind of just the notification that's like, okay, yep, this person's dying. The minute I saw Kara driving this speeder backwards while using a lightsaber to deflect blaster bolts, I'm like, okay, this girl's the Ninth Jedi. As Kara is trying to find a way off the planet, trying to get to these Jedi, like, I'm sitting there in my head thinking like, all right, this is a pretty good episode so far, but like, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna put it up there with The Village Bride yet. And then something happened, a big plot twist, if you will, that sort of then changed my perspective, especially with the way the rest of this episode went. So they get there, right? She gets to the Jedi, and all of a sudden they all turn on the lightsabers, and they're all red. Now, lightsaber crystals in themselves are not red. They're either blue or they're green, right? In order to make a crystal red, you have to make it bleed, and that usually comes from the power of the dark side. So when they all turned red, I'm like, wait, what? Are you serious? So there are no Jedi left. The Jedi are gone. It's just these two kids now against everybody. But then in comes Jiro, and I'm like, oh, wait, he's probably in on the plot too. Wait, no, he isn't. He's got a green lightsaber. Oh, shit. I'm just sitting there thinking, what is happening right now? Like, in this past minute, so much has happened, and now this Jiro person is back, but he's actually good, and he's actually a freaking badass too. He ends up taking it to these Sith. I mean, it was 3 on what? 3 on 7 or something like that? 3 on 6? And I mean, heck of lightsaber battles, you guys. Heck of a lightsaber battle. I kind of wish this show would do a little bit more of that, because this stuff was very awesome. And you know what was great about this lightsaber fight is it actually made sense. Like, they actually had realistic lightsabers. They didn't have like 10 blades coming out of them, and they weren't in space or any of that shit. Like, no, this was awesome, and it made sense. That's all I ask for. And Kara really held her own against these guys as well, which was cool. And then eventually during the fight, her saber ends up turning green. Like, you could kind of see shades of green in the lightsaber when they were first looking, when she was using it, but it wasn't until she was fighting these Sith that it turned fully green. And so they, of course, then the Jedi end up winning, but there ends up one of the Sith that's left, Juro tells to stop, and then he realizes, like, yeah, this isn't me. The darkness from them was too strong. I couldn't resist it. So I thought it was cool that one of them was able to defect. So now there's just the 4 of them. But then Juro ends up saying that the Jedi are still out there. So very curious to see if they continue this story at all. We know that Kara is going to be the 9th Jedi according to Juro. But yeah, you guys, like, the way this episode ended, like, when it ended, I'm like, okay, I guess it makes sense because, you know, these things aren't supposed to be that long. And this was actually the longest episode of the bunch so far that I've seen. But at the end of the day, this is a story that could very much continue. So I don't know if it's something that's going to be continued on in this show, like in this season, because I know like each episode is supposed to be its own standalone thing. But I mean, maybe there's something down the road where this is able to continue, like maybe in a comic or something like that, if they're not going to make more episodes. I don't know what their plans are for this, honestly. Yeah, you guys, so overall, I really liked this episode. I like Ethan, I like Kara, I like Jaro. I loved the saber combat, I loved the story. Everything about this episode was great. I think this one, I haven't fully decided yet, but Village Bride and Ninth Jedi are definitely my 2 favorites. They're like neck and neck with each other. But you guys will have to let me know what you thought of this episode. Make sure to let me know in the comments below. That is going to wrap us up here today, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this video around as it really helps support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.